Good morning, everybody. This is Donna Lovett. Can you believe that we are on day 7 of this momentum building experience? You will be able to find the other videos that we've covered on my YouTube station and on Facebook. I am so excited about what I'm going to share with you today, and you're going to feel my passion for this topic. If you love your family, this is something that you must do. Now, I think that it's selfish. This is just my opinion. You may agree or not agree, but I think it's selfish when you become so concerned with your needs and your desires that you really don't give a whole lot of thought in terms of others around you, or even your family beyond your immediate family, like your kids, your husband. Now, if you are struggling, I know at that point it's hard. I'm doing this taping during the time that our country has experienced a pandemic. And that might mean that for some of you, you may have lost your job. For some of you, you may have had a decrease in income. And if you are struggling financially, it is hard not to want to focus on your immediate need. And let me tell you, I know what that's like. I remember waking up one day for real, and I did not have a dime in the bank. I didn't have any food in my refrigerator. So I was going to do what I call involuntary fast, so I could feel good about not having any food to eat. I didn't have any gas in my car. And my mortgage was 2 months behind. I didn't have any idea of how I was going to survive. And so in that moment, I was fighting fear. I had to fight depression. And when you are financially struggling, it is difficult not to look beyond your immediate need. But what I want to encourage you is, in spite of that, to think bigger and aim higher, because you should want to never have to experience that kind of financial struggle again. And you should never want anybody in your family to ever experience it. You want your family to be free, to be able to not only live well, but to be able to live the kind of life they've always dreamed of, and be able to be free enough to impact the lives of other people, to fulfill a purpose, fulfill a destiny. You want that for them, and you should want them for you. So you would want to be free enough so that can happen for generations. That you should be concerned about your nephews and your nieces and your grandkids. There is a scripture that says that a good man or a good woman leaves an inheritance to her children for 2 to 3 generations. There is another scripture that says that the blessings of God can continue to 10 generations. So you can position your family tree to never have to struggle financially. Wouldn't that be worth a goal pursuing? Now, some of you might say, well, I have $100,000 life insurance that I'm going to leave to my kids. I know someone who blew through $100,000 in a year, broke. You might say, well, I have a $500,000 policy that I'm going to leave to my kids. Well, I know of people who hit the lottery and became millionaires and blew through that money in 2 to 5 years. If you're going to plan for something that's going to last for 3 generations to 10 generations, you're going to need a whole lot more than $1 million to make that happen. And I am saying to you that it is possible. There's a scripture that I want to read, that I want to share with you, that says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, 8. For you do not know what disaster might come upon the land, which is kind of what our country is experiencing right now with this pandemic. So if you had 7 different adventures, now I'm not talking about 7 to 8 jobs. Who can do that? I'm talking about 7 to 8 different passive streams of income. So if you lost your job, no problem. I got 7 other streams of income that's coming in. And if the stock market falls, no problem. I have 6 more. You know what I'm saying? You have so many different streams of income, and you are able to create what I call a systematic process, a system of success, a system of prosperity that you put in place. And that is something that can now continue up to 10 generations. Now, do I have your attention now? I am saying to you that that is possible, and it is a shame if you don't even want to discover how to make that happen. And you know what? There's some of you that won't even try. You know, that's the reason why yesterday we talked about the importance of not being limited to how the world perceives things, to not be limited to that, because there are some that was not possible, and you won't even try. But my hope is that if it's not you, that there will be somebody in your family that will step up and say, okay, if you're saying to me that this is something that's possible, then I am willing to discover the how of it, and I am willing to do whatever it takes so that my nieces, my nephews, my kids, my grandkids, my family for 10 generations following will never have to struggle the way you might be struggling right now. That you're going to end poverty, you're going to end financial freedom, financial struggling, and you're going to make it so that financial freedom and prosperity is your norm. It's what your family expects to walk in. It's what my mentor calls creating your own economy that's not affected by the world economy. I'm telling you, it's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different level of seeing life. But when you discover that it's possible and you can discover a way of walking in it, joy unspeakable, full of glory, right? So I'm hoping that you're the one that's going to step up. And that we're going to do this together. So join me in this journey of moving from destiny to a legacy, a 10-generation dynasty. And my goodness, your family will be so thankful to you that you stepped up to the plate. Are you ready? Are you motivated? Is this giving you some momentum to stick with me to the end of the 30 days, end of the 30 days? Because I have some stuff to share with you. I'm going to talk to you about some more of my testimony and some things I've gone through and some of the things that I am working toward. I'm going to share with you what is a dynasty? What is a legacy? What is that anyway? And I want to describe to you what that is. How do you realistically set up 8 streams of income? Is that possible? And what is this system that you're talking about? Oh, I have a lot that I want to share with you. And also some mindsets that you're going to have. Multimillionaires think differently than the average. And I no longer want to be average. Do you? So if you agree with me, then I look forward to talking with you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. as we continue this journey together. It always takes me a minute to cut off this camera. See you tomorrow.